So what is the origin of Hinduism?
It is not just a lifestyle, it's not just about behaving in a certain way, it's about Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva and Shakti. We understand them as cosmological entities. The Upanishads talk about the Atman, which is the soul within you, and the Brahman, which is the universe. And both of them are supposed to. If you remember the Bhagavad Gita, Virat Roop, within his body exists. We are worshipping the sun, we are not worshipping the star, we are worshipping the
Now you've become sort of an expert in Sanatan Dharm. That's not easy.
I wouldn't say it's very difficult to know everything about Sanatan Dharma because it is so vast,
Yeah.
and Indian history also, it's huge, and it is incomplete. Even today it is incomplete because there's a lot of places that we haven't really explored, we haven't excavated, we haven't dug up. And everywhere, every day you hear news of some old temple being found in a place, when
Hmm.
people were digging up for
Yeah.
unrelated stuff. So there's so much to explore. I don't think anyone can become an expert on India or its culture or its religion.
Yeah.
It would take multiple lifetimes to do that. But yes, what I have been doing is, whatever I have learned, I try and keep sharing with others so that maybe, it can inspire someone to do much more, or get
Yeah.
into the research or find more about it and know about their own roots.
So what is the origin of Hinduism or Sanatan Dharm?
So this is a very common question that I get, and and I know where it's coming from because a lot of people today are acquainted with the Western concept of religion, where there's one founder, there's one
Yeah.
personality around which the entire religion revolves. So Sanatan Dharm itself means the eternal religion. We do not believe that there is one human who could have laid foundation
Hmm.
to it. It is something which has been always existing, and it has been there in the universe. It is what's guiding the universe. So we're not talking about religion here. We're talking about the principles that run this universe, the principles that govern this universe,
Hmm.
and the elements that run this universe. The deities are basically the elemental gods.
Hmm.
Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva and Shakti, we understand them as, cosmological entities. So Shiva is time, Vishnu is space, and Shakti is energy that is running throughout the universe. So in that sense, we believe it's always been there. It's just been, humans have identified it in different ways,
Yeah.
and we have approached God in different ways. But in Sanatan Dharma, there have been numerous thinkers over hundreds and thousands of years who have um, formulated philosophies basis their own experiences. So there are multiple streams that merge into this ocean which we call Sanatan Dharma. So they cannot be one person, one origin. It is the origin of the it's there since the origin of the universe.
So you would rather say that Sanatan Dharm is more a lifestyle than a religion.
I would say it is an understanding. It is not just a lifestyle. It's not just about, behaving in a certain way. It's about
Okay.
understanding the universe in a certain way. It's
Yeah.
about a philosophy that helps you live in a more cohesive manner in today's world, and which has always guided us, since centuries, since millennia, and that's why, India was at the, top of the world in terms of spiritual and achievements for the longest time. And even today, you wouldn't find too
Yeah.
many, contenders for that spot, because we've always explored both within us and outside us in a common thread, in sort of a common thread. So the Upanishads talk about the Atman, which is the soul within you, and the
Hmm.
Brahman, which is the universe existing outside of you, and both of them are supposed to meet in
Yeah.
you. So we are the manifestations of this universe. We are small pieces of this universe manifesting itself, and that is how Sanatan Dharma looks at it. So I, it's not a religion, I would say. Of course, there's some rituals that we follow today. There's some
Yeah.
beliefs that we follow today, but primarily it's a way of life.
Uh, how would you describe the numerous gods and goddesses that we have? Because I have a personal theory that, like, when colonization happened, when the British arrived, an easy way to colonize people is also to break their confidence and tell them all that they know is a lie. So that's how they turned all of our history into mythology. So like Ram, Krishna, and all of them became mythological creatures. But then apart from that, we have Ganesh, and we have other gods and goddesses, which do not look exactly like human beings, let's say, and with superpowers. So how do you explain all this?
Okay, so for a beginner, what I would, how I would go about explaining it is that God is one.
Yeah.
Okay, so most world religions agree that God is one, right? The Western
Mm.
religions are primarily based on that concept that,
Yeah.
there is only one God. And a lot of Westerners are, misinformed that Hinduism has multiple gods.
Hmm.
Actually, that is not correct. Hinduism also supports the idea of only one supreme being, the supreme Brahma, the Par Brahma.
Brahman.
The Par Brahm manifests in different forms, though. We do not believe that it's an entity that is outside the universe and not interacting with us in any way, or it's not like an old angry person sitting on a throne with a thunderbolt in his hand, ready to
And
smite.
judging us.
Yeah, so it's that's not our concept of God. We believe God permeates this universe.
Yeah.
So for and God does not have a gender. So he or
Hmm.
she, either term is okay. But God manifests in different ways to enable the functioning of this universe. So as Vishnu, he provides the space component, right? The Shiv, Lord Shiv, we call him Mahakal. Kal means time.
Hmm.
Everything that you associate with Lord Shiv is representing time. He has the serpent of time around his neck. He has
Yeah.
the moon, which is used to count tithis
Hmm.
in the calendar on his forehead. He has a trident, so why try? Why three? Because it is the past, present, and future. So there's so many ways, there's so many symbolic ways that the ancients tried to bring the concept of time to us. Similarly, if you see Lord Vishnu, what's his color? He's dark like space. He's
Yeah.
he's or he's blue like sky. So
Hmm.
that's the concept. And within his body, if you remember the Bhagavad Gita Virat Roop, within his body exists the 14 lokas. So it's clearly the concept of space in this
Hmm.
entire universe. And Shakti is energy, right? Shakti primarily is manifests. It's energy taking different shapes and different forms. That is why we have goddess in so many forms. We have the Navdurga, we have the Dashmahavidya, we have the
Yeah.
Saptamatrika. Goddess has the most forms because energy can only change forms. It can never be destroyed. So
Hmm.
those are the concepts, the scientific concepts that are represented through certain deities. And over thousands of years, the rishis, the sages, the seers, they kind of crystallized those depictions into what is more conducive for the person, for a devotee to connect with them.
Hmm.
And, so Indra represents, thunder and lightning. There's a god called Parjanya who represents the rain clouds. There's Agni, that's fire. Varun is, water. Vayu is
Hmm.
air. So there's so many elemental deities. These are the, I would say, I mean, the Westerners thought that they were just anthropomorphized forms of our, natural elements that we see, but it's not
Yeah.
just that. We recognize that nothing can work by itself. It is not an insentient world. It runs through intelligence. There's intelligence in everything you see. The way the universe is organized, the way the planets revolve around the stars, the entire formation of solar systems, etc. Everything has a design, right? Everything has some logic behind it, which we're still trying to figure out. The unified theory of everything sort of that we're trying to get to know. But
Hmm.
as we go deeper into quantum physics and atomic structures, etc., we realize everything is so beautifully designed, it cannot be random. And
Yeah.
that is the belief in Hinduism that, all these elements, all these things are governed by deities. So, for example, if we are worshipping the sun, we are not worshipping the star, we are worshipping the deity who's controlling that star.
Hmm.
So that is in concept, and that is why we have multiple gods, because we consider that even human beings are parts of God. So
Yeah.
if you have 8 billion humans, you why can't you have 33 million
8 billion
gods?
God.
So that's the whole idea. It's everybody, each person, each being has some aspect of God in it, and that's the reason. Otherwise, God is just one.
Yeah.
He or she manifests in different forms.